All right, welcome to an episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. I'm your host, Norman Kinsey. We have our co-host, Mr. Dan Gandy. Welcome, Dan. How are you?
Doing great today. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, man. I'm excited. And behind the scenes, Dan is about to be a father to baby number 2. So it's going to be happening any minute now. So I just want to say congratulations. And I'm excited for you, Dan. And welcome to all our viewers and listeners as we actually intro who we have. We have an actual technology provider today. So not coach, not a real estate professional, someone that's adding value to this industry. Before we get into who he is and the company and the services that he has to offer to help the agents out there that's listening or watching today's podcast, we want to encourage you, like the episode, subscribe, comment below. What did you learn? So you can take what you learned from our episodes, apply to your business, have more massive success. So today we're actually going to be meeting with curbhero. It's a real estate marketing software that helps you take people that come into your open house, so offline leads, turning it into online leads and helping you really be able to quantify the data and specifically what they're doing to help you really be able to have more success with maximizing all of these individuals that are coming into your open house event. So today we have AJAY on Real Estate vs. Technology. He's looking to go Insta.
I've been thinking about changing that bio line on my Instagram because people just misconstrue it if they're not familiar with the Instapot. So, but yeah, for now it's that's it.
Hey, dude, it's totally cool, man. And we like to get personal here with our show so we can deep dive a little bit more. And I think a big thing is that there's a lot of tech providers, a lot of different solutions, but you don't know like who's like the method behind the madness, like who's the person or people or team. So it's cool to have you here with us so that if anyone does look you up or want to check out your services, they can relate to this episode and relate to your mission and be like, yeah, like I love what AJAY is about and what they're doing. So let's start from the beginning. So how long you've been in this segment and why the heck real estate out of all the different industries to serve?
Yeah, so it's an interesting story. I've been doing this since 2019. By the way, that's the biggest water jug I've ever seen on a YouTube show.
1 gallon. That's why I have it. It's a talking point. I appreciate that.
Since 2019, we did a beta, which is kind of how I got into this in the first place. So my wife is a mortgage broker, and my background has always been in e-commerce, and just I for the most part been in the corporate world, even though I did some startups both in Los Angeles and in London. And it was always around e-commerce or marketing associated with e-commerce. And then as I got introduced to more of the mortgage and real estate world through my wife, Julie, I started seeing all these corollaries and seeing, hey, we're with e-commerce, this idea of just like digitizing your customer is like fully native. It's just that your customer was always digital. And then with real estate, and mortgage as well, there was just this idea of as soon as you can get a lead into your CRM, the possibilities just explode. But getting that lead into the CRM was oftentimes a hard part, especially because real estate has always, or not always, but for so long been a physical world advertising medium, bus benches, signs, open houses, postcards, mailers, door hangers, and the opportunity to get them online was just lacking. And that's where I realized, hey, there's a bunch of ideas we can try. And curbhero was just one of many. We created this digital open house sign-in, and we just put it out to all the agents that worked with our mortgage business. And they loved it so much that we just made it its own product available on all the app stores in 2019.
Wow, that's super cool. It's nice too when you launch something and the market speaks for itself. Really good book that I read, and I would encourage anyone to check out. It's Good to Great. And so when people are speaking for you and you don't have to put a lot of marketing budget out there, that's absolutely amazing. It looks like I saw somewhere, I believe it was on your LinkedIn, it was that you have over 20,000 individuals now, I think agents that have now registered with the app and are utilizing the tool.
Yeah, we have over 20,000 agents. The growth is faster than ever, and a lot of it is word of mouth. We'll see that, and it's funny how it happens because they'll stumble on our app. A lot of agents, our biggest competitor are pen and paper sign-in sheets when it comes to the digital open house. which kind of makes me feel like, there's so much opportunity here. And so what we see is agents the morning of the open house, because usually it's a Saturday or Sunday, they'll have a million things going on in their personal and professional life. They'll just there you go. We can load you up right
digital.
Now. They won't have enough time to go to Kinko's and print the open house sign-in sheet and the flyers and all these things. And they're like, well, maybe there's an app for that. They stumble on our app and they love it. And basically they see that it has added so much efficiency. They don't have to waste time after the open house. Last thing you want to do on a Saturday or Sunday night is just try and transcribe a bunch of bad handwriting, and everything goes into their CRM and they love it. And then the next Monday or Wednesday, whenever they have their team sales meeting, they talk about CurbHero. And then by the next weekend, we see 5 other agents from the team pop up and start using it. And then it kind of keeps growing that way. And because of that, we have little to nothing in terms of marketing spend, because everything is organic, whether through SEO or just word of mouth.
Wow, very interesting. So you had the previous name as Block Party, you renamed it. And so really curious about how that happened. And then what are the key search terms for them to find your app and to download it within the, Android or Apple, App Store?
Yeah. So the name Block Party. So this is a lesson learned the hard way. Is you always want to go for this really cool name that's going to mean a bunch of different things if you decide to move your product in different areas and you want it to be catchy. But what we didn't do is enough diligence around how hard it would be to trademark the name. And so when we picked Block Party, we thought we did a fair amount of diligence on the trademarking side. But as we got into the nitty gritty with the USPTO, the trademark office, they had different thoughts. And so at a certain point, we were just like, well, we're focusing too much time on just securing the name, and we want to focus time on building a great product. So while we were dealing with all the issues with Block Party, we just got the trademark for CurbHero, and we decided, hey, the product is really what's going to hold the day. So let's just switch it to CurbHero. The product's going to be better than ever, and that's really how the name came together.
Wow. That's super cool. That's awesome. I absolutely love that. And it's cool too, that it speaks for itself. And I think that a lot of individuals don't know about the stories like this behind the scenes, which is really cool. And a podcast is a great place to be able to hear these stories. And then people buy from someone they know, like, and trust. Not that you need that, because of course it speaks for itself, which is phenomenal. I just think that it's so much cooler to say, who's the owner? How to get founded and started. That's really, really cool. So I'm going to switch it up and give it to Dan for the mix-up round. And he's going to get more into the logistics, the download, the how, the why, for someone that wants to download it, check it out themselves, and start using it in their next open house. Take it away, Dan.
Awesome. Thanks, Norman. Let's talk about monetization first, because I think from the tech side, we have a lot of listeners, people who are in the tech side we'll talk agent, and then let's talk tech, prop tech. Where is there a fee? What's the fee structure? Is it free? Give me the model that it's based upon. Yeah.
So this model, the agent doesn't pay anything. It's free to the agent, and this is similar to, free is a great marketing tool. I probably, I didn't play that up enough in terms of why the word of mouth growth is so great. But the agent doesn't pay anything. This is a model that other apps have taken to, where the lender that the agent pairs will pay a subscription based on the number of agents they pair, and the lender's paying for advertising. And I know that this is a problem that lenders have firsthand, because my wife's a mortgage broker, and every weekend, either her or someone on her team feels this obligation to, get dressed up, pick up the bagels or the donuts, and meet their partner agent at the open house. And they sit in that open house as a way to kind of maintain that partnership with the agent, and also be able to meet potential buyers that need pre-approval or just have mortgage questions. But for the mortgage broker, in addition to the fact that this happens on the weekend, it's just not a very scalable way to build their business, because you can only be in one place physically at one time. So we saw it as an opportunity to solve their problem as well, where they can digitally be in dozens and potentially hundreds of different open houses at one time, and physically be doing whatever they want, and just get pinged in real time as soon as somebody has a question in an open house. And that's exactly what happens. So as people are going through this digital sign-in on the agent's iPad or even on their laptop at the open house, one of the questions that they get asked is, hey, do you have any questions around financing? And as soon as somebody says yes to that, the mortgage broker gets notified by text, email, and if they've set up their CRM, that person goes straight into their CRM. So yeah, that's really the business model and how the lender integration comes together.
That's awesome. And what I like about that is a lot of products are just so agent pocketbook targeted, right? Like we as agents get bombarded with like, hey, there's this service, but you don't hear a lot about products that are engineered for lenders. And I think that's a unique spin on it that I think is, if you're a mortgage lender listening up, like any way you can inject yourself into that discussion at an open house is going to lead to a higher probability of converting and closing. So I love it. And then in terms of growth and expansion, like where do you see the product going in terms of new features or things that you guys are testing?
Yeah, so there's so many directions that we think about. If we use project management tools, and the backlog, which is like all the potential features we may one day want to add, is so long. But what we're trying to focus on are new areas and services that are somewhere along that timeline of marketing the listing, helping the agent market the listing. And ideally in cases where we can help convert that offline attention into real online leads. And so there's a couple areas that I think are really interesting. QR code, coming out of the pandemic, one of the interesting developments is the QR code just got new life. There's a lot of restaurants that have hung on to that QR code menu. And you're starting to see them everywhere. And I think it's a really good opportunity for real estate, especially because there still is this heavy offline component to their marketing.
Yeah, I was like trying to take it for a test spin while we're here. Like, and it's pretty cool product. I think the next question really is what is like the for an agent who wants to try it out, wants to use it this weekend, what do you suggest? Is it making a phone call to the lender? Is it trying it out themselves? Like, how do you kind of mesh that starting process?
Ooh, okay. So that's an important question, because the interesting thing about the way we paired the agent and the lender is the agent can use the app completely without the lender. Even though the lender is the monetization, and in our ideal world, every agent will pair their lender. We also wanted to make a product that is totally valuable and competitive to the alternatives without pressuring the agent to pick a lender. So agents can just sign up. You can Google curbhero, you can Google Open House app, you can go on either of the app stores and search for either of those terms. Find our app. The setup is super easy. We actually an office recently challenged us because they had agents that were kind of in an older demographic. They wanted to time how quickly it would take to set up, and we got it in 30 seconds. And they were doing a digital open house sign in. And so, yeah, it's really easy. And the agent can actually disable any lender involvement and have a completely free product that actually beats the feature set of the other kind of paid open house solutions. So we think it's a win-win.
It definitely is. No, that's all I got. I could ask a million questions, but I think from an agent's perspective, I just printed out an open house sheet. No one fills it out, or they put some random butchered name that you can't, they purposely are like scribbling it so you don't know who it is. They put the wrong information. So I think this really it improves the lead quality. It increases the efficiency of the agent and that teamwork approach from the mortgage perspective. But I think ultimately it's like 2.0, where things are headed. Like, there isn't going to be a pen and paper at open houses in the next 5 to 10 years. It's just gonna be like, here's my iPad Pro, please sign in because the seller wants to know who's in their house, and have a great day.
100%. We actually recommend you use that line too. The seller wants to know, because they're opening up their house. They should have the right to know who is coming through that open house. And the benefit to the person signing in is also, I think those brochures that agents feel obligated to print out or order, because some of them need to be ordered because they're kind of expensive and printed on expensive materials. Like, that's something that may need to get phased out as well, because now there's digital property sites that have way more information. They have videos, they have virtual tours, they have galleries of dozens of photos, more information you could ever put into a brochure. And all that information, by the way, can also get automatically sent as soon as someone signs into a digital open house app like Curbhero.
Boom.
Wow.
Oh, awesome. This is one of the coolest products we've had on that solves a real problem. And so back to Norm.
Thanks so much, Dan, for taking on that mix-up round. And I have to say a couple of things to unpack it is, so the episode's going live on Friday at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. So after we go live, you're going to know how many signups are going to be coming in, because I'm sure viewers and listeners that have an open house coming up this weekend, they're going to be like, oh my God, I got a new tool to check out, which is going to be huge. I love that. And it was interesting because when Dan asked you the question, like, okay, does it have to be lender or can the agent just sign up? You're like, yeah, the agent can just sign up. The next step to that, I can see in your models, like, oh, we just got 5 new agents in a new market with no lender. Boom. Let's reach out to 5 lenders. Do you want to take this market share for monetizing? So I got to say, it's super smart to what you've done there to take it to that next level. So all the agents out there, hey, go ahead, sign up free. And any lenders that are out there, get your market as soon as possible. So speaking of that, let me go into that. So when you think about like your business model and scaling, right? There's a lender who's watching this right now, and someone's going to be quick. Let's jump on. Let's get it going. I want my space. Are you doing zip code space? Are you doing only 1 or 2 lenders in one area? Like, is it zone
MLS
specific? Like, what does it look like? Because I know, and I'm not saying this is going to happen for your business, but people that are watching or listening probably heard of a company called SmartZip, and SmartZip did a basically zip code type focused model, and they kind of failed because they kind of pigeonholed themselves because there's only so many agents for so many zip codes and so on and so forth. And it just was hard, and sending out mailers, predictive analytics. So what's your business model look like as far as like in those different territories for a lender who's listening that wants to basically get, what is it? A zip code? Is it a city? Does it matter?
Is it agent?
Yeah. So actually you guys nailed it. So there's 2 ways. One is per agent. So the agent so I'd say the majority of lenders that use our app are invited by an agent that's already using it. And so that's the primary way. Now for bigger lenders, they want to figure out like, well, I like a little bit of this, but I love a lot of this. And one of the things we can do is we can give them a full state. And eventually we may go more granular down into cities and zips and things like that. But for now, lenders can be the default lender for an entire state. And wow. At that level, there are certain criteria that they need to meet. They just can't be anybody. They need to be able to handle the scale. They need to have, the required experience, and their ratings need to be solid too. And so there's a bit of a diligence process there, but those are the 2 models.
You don't want crappy lenders on your platform. Crappy experience.
They don't need to be leading by example. They just need to be like fly by night. I love that, man. I think that's super cool. And I think that can really, for someone that doesn't have a preferred lender, that could really ease of flow for a realtor, vice versa, not having that, preferred lender. That's really, really cool. I absolutely love that. So
I want to say one thing real quick. This is also a real good component to being able to generate buyers for a listing. So if you're going out to a listing appointment and you're like, listen, I have a really innovative open house way of doing things. I have a digital signing sheet. It's connected to my lender. I can find and generate buyers for this transaction, and we can negotiate a super high price because they want your house. And now I know they're motivated, and I'm not dealing with other agents. So you have an increased probability of dual agency, and you have an increased probability of generating your own buyer that's going to keep everything in-house. And I think that is something we didn't touch on, but I just wanted to mention that to anybody out there.
Yeah. Can I just add a point onto that as well? I think
most definitely.
So I think, the open house might be the least sexy prospecting method in real estate. And I get it. But I also think that, there is the possibility, to your point, Dan, around like even in a supply constrained market, which at the time of this recording, most major markets are still supply constrained. You're still going to get, there's a high potential for bidding wars. And a lot of listing agents and sellers may think, hey, we don't need an open house to sell this property. But if you increase your demand pool, there is a higher chance that it will go for higher. And so I think that, to your point, in the listing presentation, as you're kind of thinking about what the timeline is for the marketing of the listing, there's only upside in increasing the demand pool.
100%. Your ultimate goal is multiple offer over asking scenario. And if you can get your seller to open the doors, have open houses. I think it's key, because if you look at during COVID, you're still getting bidding wars, but as this market even gets tougher, you want that buyer demand to be generated.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
I love that. So we like to set ourselves up for success, because who knows, maybe you'll be on next year, maybe on 2 years, we'll get you back on. And we want to compare and contrast and have that contrast. So your first episode with us, your second episode with us. So what's your goal? What does it look like in the next 3 to 5 years? Where are you headed? What do you want to do? Complete market domination? Give it to us. What are you thinking?
Yeah. Market domination has a nice ring to it.
I like that.
Well, I think we're a bootstrap company. We have other profitable businesses that we basically use to fund the initial product of CurbHero. We're approaching profitability given our current budget, but like I said, our roadmap is massive, and we really want to build out the team. And so I think that we have aspirations to really improve the delivery of new features that we have. And I think that getting to 10,000 agents every week actively using our open house, that's an active user count that we aspire to. And I think at that point, you'll really start seeing some features come out of CurbHero that are well beyond just open houses and just general digital marketing products.
Wow, that's really cool. And I would love to have you back on, and we can compare and contrast as far as that user base. And who knows, maybe offline we could talk for the viewers and listeners out there that, more to come. Maybe Liftoff can be a catalyst that sponsors Real Estate vs. Tech in that growth, and potentially can help each other on different forefronts. And if you're listening to this, you got to go to YouTube and watch this. I love the camera, man. Your camera, how it follows you. Talk about tech, dude. Real Estate vs. Tech. It's like, I've been watching, like, that's super cool. It's so interactive, man. It's super interactive. So I have one last question, and then we're going to open up the floor to you for the viewers and listeners and anything you want them to take from your episode. And the last question is completely off par. I'm just going to go in a completely different direction. What do you do for fun, man?
Oh, well, we have a little girl that just turned 1.
I see that. Congrats.
So that's a lot of fun. 90% of the time it's a lot of fun. Every once in a while it becomes like crazy, like what have we gotten ourselves into? That's probably the main thing. I love to cook. I love food. So we don't get to go out to restaurants as much, but I definitely like trying new food. I try and surf every week, but again with the little one, that's a little bit tricky. But yeah, that's really it.
That's super cool, man. And I have to say kudos to you and congratulations on all the charities. I just want to put that out there. I see that you're a part of a lot of charities, a lot of fundraisers, and you've done a lot of stuff on your Facebook page. So I just want to say, everyone who's listening and watching, like, AJ is a guy that actually is like giving back and serving the community and doing other things outside of just the real estate space.
He's a good person.
Yeah, he's a good person. So I just wanted to put that out there for the viewers and listeners that get behind your product and your app and what they're doing to not just help themselves, but seeing that you're helping others, which is really cool. So congratulations to that and to you. And that's it. So we're at the end of the show now. So we would love to just leave it open for you. And what do you want our viewers and listeners to take from today's episode as we end it out?
Well, I think for sure, if you're doing open houses or you want to digitize your property marketing more, definitely check out CurbHero. Check out the reviews. I think that we spent so much time. I personally have probably talked to over 2,000 agents since we launched the company. Every Monday, I make it a point to call. Usually, it's between 20 and 50 agents, and I ask them for especially the brutal feedback on the app. And we have a CRM where we note down everything that someone says as far as, hey, I wish you had this, or I had this bug, and we act on all of it.
Wow.
And so if you're using the app, don't be surprised if you get a phone call from me. But it's selfish, because not only does it give a chance for us to kind of figure out what the next version of CurbHero is going to be like, but it allows our users to put their feedback straight into what that next version is going to be. So yeah, that's me promoting CurbHero. But the other thing I would say for agents generally is, I think that it's really easy to just focus on getting that next deal. And obviously that's important because that's money in the bank. But to build out that longer pipeline is something that I've learned, at least from my e-commerce days and using that strategy for our mortgage business is, it's pretty easy to just keep a pipeline that's kind of not yet ready to transact warm through a lot of, email drips and things like that you guys probably excel at on the lift-off agent standpoint, just like making your positioning clear. And so that way, when people are ready to consider that purchase, they're thinking about you because you differentiated yourself to them. And I feel like a lot of agents and teams don't really spend enough time thinking about like that further out portion of, like, if you're thinking about the funnel, that top of the funnel portion, they need love too.
Yes. Man, I love it. And I got to say that like that closing statement is, I think that was like the OHA full circle moment, because I got to say that it's one thing to have money and you put a lot of money into something and you just let the money roll and whatever else. The fact that you spend that time to make those cold calls and go through that process to really be able to, enhance the validity of the app itself. I mean, Dan looks like he's downloading it right now. I'm sure there's a lot of listeners that are downloading it right now, just because I think people love to get behind people that are out there, like putting in that blood, sweat, and tears. And like, that's because there it is.
Man.
Awesome. And that's where I think that, this industry is really going to thrive, because you see the pioneers that are out there that are looking to innovate the industry and serve this industry and support this industry outside of big names, which we won't even have to say, that have made their own mistakes. And a lot of people don't like them because bought too many homes and undervaluation and whatever else. So AJ, thank you so much for being on the show. We really do appreciate it. This is a pleasure.
Yeah, same here, guys. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Great to meet you, man.
Dan, as always, thanks for co-hosting.
Yeah, and just another cool product that I get to add to my nice little tech stack here. So this is always good.
Hey, doing what Dan loves to do, anyways, right? He's already helping Liftoff scaling his own real estate practice. Co-host Real Estate vs. Tech. Now we found a new product. This has been awesome.
My wheelhouse. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks to all our viewers and listeners, as it is our intention for you to apply things to our business, so your business have more massive success. Now, comment below. What did you learn? Are you going to download this? The app is down below. Click the link, check it out. Website's behind me, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching Real Estate vs. Technology, this week's brand new episode, and making it to the end, your real one. If you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified for new episodes that come out every single week on Fridays at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. Also, if you comment on this episode and you like the episode, you'll help this episode get out to more individuals. And if you want to join our Facebook group page, just click a link. It's a Facebook icon on our profile page here on our YouTube channel. Join our group page, network with individuals all across the world, and share what technology you're using to grow your business. The next link is to join our Real Estate vs. Technology brand new IG or Instagram page. If you go on any of our stories, you can see who's going to be on Real Estate vs. Technology before it actually goes live on our YouTube channel. And the last link would be if you want to be on an episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. You pick a date and a time. We'll deep dive into your story and technology you're using to share that with other individuals that view our episodes weekly, to inspire, enlighten, show up, and show out for people that love to watch these type of podcasts to have more success in their own business. Thank you so much for your continued support. We appreciate it. We will see you on the next one.